Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at RAINDANCE Toronto with director-screenwriter Jason HRENO. What inspired you to become a director and a screenwriter?
I guess I would have to say, many trailblazing directors that I grew up adoring and idolizing, in my teens and when I was an undergrad, I guess. I just thought it was something I'd like to try to do.
What has been the most rewarding aspect of being in this career so far?
I think that most people would probably say that it's a real kind of privilege to, wake up every day and try to do what you want to do. And when you actually get the chance to do it, it's probably the most satisfying and self-actualizing kind of experience you can have, working with, a loyal or a really creative and inspiring team of actors and crew. So I don't know, it's really rewarding creatively. A lot of fun. It's very obviously intense, but you kind of either thrive on that intensity or it bears you, right? So I happen to be one of those people that really enjoys that stuff.
What projects are you currently most excited about?
There's a novel that a producing partner of mine produced us, and he's I guess my commercials producer has been. And I optioned this novel called Double Exposure, written by a Florida writer named Michael Lister. And I adapted it into a screenplay last sort of summer, fall, and we're currently it underwent a few revisions after doing a few rounds in Hollywood. And, people are really psyched with my script. So doing my own directing off my own work hasn't been something I've been able to do much in the past little while. I've been mostly a gun for hire, I guess you would say, which is great, right? I mean, we all have mortgages and stuff and kids, but that's probably the best privilege ever, to be given that kind of an opportunity to direct your own stuff like I did early on in my career. But which is always like the kind of calling card stepping stone that you take before you get sort of catapulted, if you're lucky. I was sort of very weakly catapulted into a jobbing director role to varying degrees of success. Raised eyebrow. So this novel, we're trying to do like a real indie kind of, festival piece. That's, I think, what I'd really like to do. It's the right thing for me to do for my career right now. And I've done a lot of TV movies or, video movies for very reputable companies and broadcasters, but I'd really like to sort of make an imprint as a kind of auteur, I guess, as kind of art house auteur. So that's what I'm hoping to do. People love my script. It's an amazing kind of action adventure psychological thriller set in the Florida swamp. Very exciting kind of, like I say, action story. So
why Double Exposure? Why is it called that?
Okay, good question. The premise of the book and the screenplay is about a nature photographer in northwestern Florida, like in the Panhandle, who is out in the deep dark woodlands and wetlands and swamps of that area, checking his camera traps. So he's, of course, completely off the grid, kind of contact-wise, and it's very late. He kind of gets lost, and he finally finds one of his camera traps, and on it he discovers that he's actually captured inadvertently a murder, a very heinous murder. Yeah, very grisly, and so he's the only one that can kind of redeem the death of this individual, and in the process he kind of unravels a sort of sequence of events and I guess motivations that obviously deeply threaten his life, because the guys start shooting at him right away when they discover that they're onto him or he's onto them. It's sort of this, so it's a double exposure, if you will, of vulnerability and being caught. So he's got to get out of the bush and the swamp over the course of the night. And the byline of the novel is really clever. I think it's will he survive the night? And that's the whole. He's just got to get out of the swamp.
Wow.
And does he?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
When are you hoping on shooting this film?
Well, there's nothing straightforward about raising financing, and it really depends on our cast and all that stuff. So I would love to imagine that we'd be shooting it maybe next fall, but I think that's ambitious. It takes a long time to get people to read your script and attract talent and get money to attract talent. It's all it's all quid pro quo, right? It's all chicken before the egg and all that stuff, as you can imagine. We'll kind of see where we're at in terms of our financing in a few months, take stock, and then push again if we need to. But it's very kind of bootstrap. This, what I want to do, a very gritty kind of Paul Greengrass sort of, small Paul Greengrass kind of gritty, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but set in the kind of bush at night, if that makes any sense. Kind of handheld, really, really close up kind of thing, anyway. So hopefully, that obviously means that we can do it on a reasonable budget, but so next fall or next spring, I don't know. We'll see. Could be a couple of years, you never know.
What advice would you give to someone following in your footsteps?
Walk tall and carry a big stick. No, I would say I guess the key to the industry, in my opinion, is attracting kind of repeat clients and repeat business. So, do something cool that you really believe in at the beginning and stick to your guns artistically. Because when you're young, it's easier to take risks than when you're older, both creatively and financially, I think. And try to do something that puts you on the map. I mean, this is kind of a cliche, generic answer, but it's actually very true. I still hear it from agents when I'm down in LA. Oh, your work's great, Jason, but you really need, it's like you're always trying to get to the next level, right? Because you're always trying to attract that next level of either project or budget or whatever, right? So I think having, this is such a strange word to use in this industry, but having some kind of integrity will only serve you well. And having to read as much as you can. I think reading is a really good, and obviously seeing and consuming as much sort of media as you can and staying on top of stuff. That's all you can really do. As somebody once said to me, directing is a hard thing to practice. Like anyone can write on a piece of paper in a room, but you can't direct a movie in a room by yourself. Yeah. So and don't, direct anything you can. That's what I would say, and that's what I try to do every day, Again, to varying degrees of success.
How did you stumble across the book Double Exposure? How did you find out about it?
A very close friend of mine from McGill is a literary agent, and she reps a lot of kind of genre directors, writers, I guess, novelists mainly. So we kind of meet every year or 6 months and talk about projects that she has. She's making a lot of strides in Hollywood, I guess, with a lot of her clients. So her name is Amy Moore Benson. And she kind of pitched Double Exposure to me. I'll just pull it up if that's not totally cheesy. Michael Lister's amazing novel that you cannot put down. So I read it and gave it to my partner Bruce Dawson, who I told you about, I think, already. And we both thought this was something that would make a really cool movie. And like I said, also it would be a great thing. It's the kind of exact project that I wanted to make. Very easy to do in a low budget, very psychological, art house thriller, right? And that's kind of so far has been the evolution of how the project came to me, and then I went on and wrote a script based on Michael's great book.
And what do you mean by art house thriller? What other films can we think of that might show us that style?
Yeah, I guess, the Millennium Trilogy, like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo comes to mind a little bit, although it's much more urban, right? And obviously European, although reset in the States. I don't know, even some of the older movies like Blow Up, it has some similarities to that. Even a little bit of Apocalypto. I mean, these are kind of become much more mainstream. But that's kind of, when you think about it, art house meaning it's not like a total Hollywood ending, and it's not like it doesn't have, it has a clear villain and a clear hero and all that stuff, of course. It's storytelling after all. But it doesn't necessarily, cater to the big push that a studio could make. It could be reworked for that, and that's another avenue we're trying to explore as well. But it's very gritty and like low-fi, I guess, low budget, with a lot of breakout commercial potential. So doing it the way we want to do it, I think, would actually kind of make that happen faster.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you and on your projects online?
I guess at my website, the work that I have done anyway, which is jasonhreno.com.
With a silent H?
Yes, jasonhreno.com. Or I don't really know. I guess one of my agents could probably facilitate some stuff, but whatever. That's the best place to get through to people that need to know how to get in touch with me, I guess,
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jason, and congratulations on all of your success, and best of luck with Double Exposure and all of your other upcoming projects.
Thanks so much, Katie. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at RAINDANCE Toronto. Cool.